She said you are 4 centimeters dilated. Gave birth at 33 weeks and I had no idea. I didn't have my hospital bag packed. I had nothing ready. I'll share with you guys my birth story. I gave birth on the 27th of August. On the 25th of August, me, my siblings, we went to London and I did lots of walking this day. It's a bank holiday, so it was so busy in London. Got home around 11 o'clock on the 25th. And then of course I went to sleep in the night and I woke up. I had the worst night. I just kept getting this really weird pain. Pain literally kept coming and it kept going. I woke up in the morning and I was like to Danny, I had the worst night. I told him about the pain. I just got on with the day. Throughout the day, I started tracking my pain. The same day, I went to the bathroom a bit later on in the day and I had something that's called the mucus plug. I haven't seen like that color throughout my whole pregnancy, so it was so scary. So I called up the maternity triage. They told me to come and everything should be fine. The pain wasn't unbearable, but it was still there. I'm not sleeping in the night with this pain. I ended up going around 10 o'clock to just get checked. She did a test on me and it's either a positive or negative test, and that will show if you're possibly going to go into labor. She said to me, you're not dilated, but your cervix is soft, which possibly means you could go into labor. And I was thinking, what? You're less than 34 weeks, your baby may need some support to breathe, so we'll need to give you a dose of steroids. I was like, what? And she goes, you can think about it. And me and Danny were like, yeah, we'll think about it because we're sure our baby's not going to come yet. So the doctor said to me, you will need to stay in the hospital so we can monitor you. And Danny couldn't stay with me and I was like, oh my god, I wish he could have stayed. So I ended up staying the night in the hospital. You guys, I could not sleep because of the pain throughout the whole night. Doctors come in the morning to come check you. So they came around 6 o'clock and she was just talking about, you know, steroids and what would happen if your baby's born. Got to around 8 o'clock. Pain just started getting a little bit worse and I couldn't take anymore. They had a doctor that came to check me and she said you are 4 centimeters dilated. I started crying because I was like, wait, what? Like, how am I 4 centimeters dilated? Literally 5-6 hours ago I wasn't dilated. Clearly overnight I've dilated and I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. And then she goes, you really need to quickly decide if you want the steroids or not because it's really important for your baby. Ended up going for the steroid, injected that in my thigh. I called Danny and told him like the situation. I was crying on the phone. He goes, what's wrong? What's wrong? I just couldn't say anything because I was just like in shock myself. I literally was so hungry because I didn't end up having breakfast because of the pain. During labor you can't eat anything because you could possibly need a C-section. I did not know that. So it's now around 12 a.m. My sister, my mother-in-law, they ended up coming down. They packed a few things for the baby, they packed things for me. Didn't have, you know, the nappies, the pads, you know, like breast pads, nothing. 5-6 p.m. I'd say the contractions started getting more severe. Like it felt like it was gonna like die. I thought my labor was gonna go on for like a day. Got to the point but I was literally like crying / screaming at the same time. I was also vomiting because I was so hungry. I didn't know people vomit during labor, but I vomited like 3 times all in all. A doctor came. My contractions were more and more painful and she said you're actually 7 centimeters dilated. It was around 7 to 9. I can't really remember, but I think it's time to push. And I was like, how do you push? I had a few midwives in the room, you know, as anyone does, but then the heart rate of the baby was going a little bit low and they had to press the emergency buttons. And then there were so many midwives that ended up coming to the room. I don't remember this lady's name, but she came to the front. She goes, okay, Maryam, you need to push because the heart rate of the baby is going down. Like, Danny was next to me the whole time. Couldn't get through my birth without Danny. You have your comfort person there, so I was like squeezing his hand the whole time. And then Danny was like, just listen to that lady because I feel like she was really switched on. The doctor said, sorry, but I'll have to cut you a little bit. And I was like, wait, what? Like, the procedure's called episiotomy, so that's what I basically had. Literally when the baby came out, alhamdulillah, Danny was crying, my parents were crying. It was such a beautiful moment, alhamdulillah. Even though he was a premature baby, alhamdulillah, he didn't need support when it came to breathing. He was on me for a good 10 minutes and then Danny snipped the umbilical cord. But alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful. Skin to skin straight after he came out. I lost so much blood. I was like so out of it. I did not know what was going on. I was gonna die after giving birth rather than before because that's how weak I felt. I ended up staying in hospital for around 2 days and Allah is the best of planners. Maybe Allah knew that I wouldn't be able to have a baby that is a bit bigger. Didn't even mention the pain reliefs, not even do any research. Like, of course I knew about the epidural, gas and air. My plan was to take literally nothing, and like I said, there was no plan. The epidural, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what the pain's gonna be like. With the contractions, I know it's coming and going and I know how the pain is. It's just being scared of the unknown, like not knowing what it will be like. So that made me really put off it. I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to take anything. Let's see how this goes. I just don't want the after pain. I don't want the back pain later. Let me see how I can do, because like I said, the half your body goes numb. It's just so scary, just the thought of it. With gas and air, I was already so drowsy, and I was like, I'm going to get even more drowsy if I take gas and air. So I avoided it all, and alhamdulillah, it ended up working for me. Everyone's pain tolerance is completely different. But yeah, that was my birth story. I feel like I haven't missed anything out, I don't think. But what I'm going to be doing is a YouTube video on like an in-depth birth story.